So last session we discussed regarding these routing types, work list and work queue. So work list is nothing but, so if you want to transfer a task to one person directly, so or to single operator directly, so we'll be using work list. And work queue is routing to team, and within the team, so any operators available and who request the task or to whom the ticket is assigned, so they'll be working on the task. So like wherever requirement is there in the if it is a process flow means we'll apply these routings at assignment level. In today's session we'll also discuss about screen flow, and in screen flow how to apply the routing I'll tell you. So before that we'll discuss some 1 to 2 topics. First topic I'm discussing today about service level agreement, okay, which is also called as SLA. And wherever these routings are added, so they will also prefer to define these SLA. SLA is nothing but some intervals will be defined, and within the given interval we need to process the task or complete the task. So SLA contains some parameters, like 3 parameters will be there. Let's see. See, SLA, whenever this routing is added for assignment or any screen flow, so they will also configure, not mandatory but mostly compulsory for every routing. They will also configure the service level agreement. Okay. See, for example, general example I'll tell you. Suppose if you call customer care regarding some internet issue, so if you have only one user is having issue, so they'll be taking like 1 day time, like 24 hours time they're going to take. So the thing is, the priority is less priority if it is for single person. Okay. Suppose in your locality everyone is facing some issue, so they may take it as some high priority, and they are going to resolve the issue in less time. Priorly one person means they may take 1 day or less than 1 day. If it is for multiple persons facing the same problem, they may take less than 5 to 10 hours, like that they are going to take. Suppose due to some server issue from their end only, there is a problem is there, and every person or every user in the city is facing the issue. So in that case it is like a critical issue, and they are going to resolve within hour or less than 1 hour. So like that every task and all, when they transfer or when they route the task again, so they will be assigning this service level. Okay, it contains some intervals and priority will be there. So that I'm going to discuss now. First of all, so contains 3 types of intervals: goal, deadline, and pass deadline time. So goal time means like within that time we have to complete. Suppose in any case if the task is not completed, we have to complete in deadline time. So even in deadline time not completed, sometimes they may escalate this task to some other person. Okay, so there they are going to configure the, so pass deadline time can be initially configured, or they can also configure it later also. So these are the 3 intervals we have. So at least compulsory we have to finish the task within deadline time. Suppose due to some reasons if not completed in deadline time, so it will be escalated to pass a deadline time. So these are the 3 intervals where, so we have to mention they will be mentioning how much time will be taken to complete the task. So here in these intervals, like days, hours, minutes, and seconds are the parameters. Okay. And how these intervals are given and calculated means, suppose see, goal and deadline time when given, a deadline time must be more than goal time always. Okay. Pass deadline time can be less or more depend upon the reason. Okay. If the task is not at all started, they may give more time. Already some 50 to 80% of the task is finished means they may give some less time. Okay. So but deadline time must be always more than the goal time. For example, if goal time is given as 1 hour, deadline time more than 1 hour they has to mention. Pass deadline time depend upon the issue, how much percentage issue is task is completed. Accordingly, less or more can be given in the pass deadline time. But how these calculations will start means, see here when goal and deadline time are given, so both starts calculating at the same time. So if task is started, for example, 8 o'clock you log in and you have a task in your in for your ID. So at 9, actually you log in at 8 o'clock and the task is assigned to you, and for that goal time is 1 hour. So it will start the goal time. So by 9 o'clock goal time will complete. see, deadline time is given as 2 hours. Give me 1 second. So goal time is given as 1 hour and deadline time is given as 2 hours. So what happens means here, goal and deadline time both starts calculating at the same time. So same time means 8 o'clock if you log in, goal time will start along with that deadline time also will start. So though 2 hours are given when this is started, deadline time is also started, right? So by 10 o'clock the deadline time will complete. Only 1 hour will be left for the deadline time. So higher than goal time, what are the time available? Only that particular time only will be left for the deadline time, not 2 hours. 2 hours means, so here this 2 hours minus goal time. So deadline time always calculation will be, so this minus goal time. So 1 hour only will be left, and by that time the task must be completed. Still, if the task is not completed, then it will be moved to past the deadline time. So there 1 hour is there means, so after completing deadline time, then it will start calculating past the deadline time. So here remember 2 points: goal and deadline time starts calculating at the same time, and after completing deadline time it will start calculating past the deadline time. Okay, so that is that will happen in the backend for calculating the intervals. And whenever these intervals are defined, along with that, so they are also going to define some urgency value or priority value. See, that number will be, maximum value will be 100. Okay, but here for example, again in every interval they can define this urgency. Apart from that, they will also have some initial urgency. Initial urgencies we can also call it as a default urgency. For this they can give some value, like in the intervals of 5 or 10 they can give. And again in every time interval, so they can specify this urgency value. Okay, in goal, deadline and past deadline time they can specify the urgency value. See, for example, mm, I'll take some list numbers. For example, okay, so what happened is, suppose in initial urgency, if I given some interval as 5, okay, and in goal time I have given as 20, and in deadline 20, and past deadline time 20 I have given. So how it will calculate means initial plus goal, then goal plus deadline, and deadline plus past deadline. So by the time goal time is completed, initial plus 20, by the time it is completed it will be 25, and 25 plus 20, by the time deadline time is completed it will be 45, and by the time past deadline time is completed it will be 65. Actually this urgency value, maximum value will be 100. Even if you give any higher values also, so it will stop at 100 only. Even if it is increasing the value more than 100 also, finally the value, urgency value, will stop at 100, even if calculation is more at the end of past deadline time. So it will be maximum value can be 100 only, it will stop at 100. So mostly in the intervals of 10s, 20s, maximum like that only will be giving. So if a task, two tasks are there for any one operator, if task 1 is having some urgency value as 70 and task 2 is having urgency value as 80, so here he must give priority to the task which is having highest urgency number. Means they must first complete the task which is having highest urgency value. So even though interval is here, interval will check only, first level will check the priority. So after priority, then we'll check the interval. Okay, so whenever any tasks are there which is having highest priority or highest urgency value, so that we have to give more priority here. Okay, so like that internally when any urgency values are given, it will calculate like this: initial plus goal, goal plus deadline, and deadline plus past deadline time. Okay, so like that in every interval, So along with interval, we can also specify these urgency values also we can specify. And the third parameter you'll be having is okay, suppose if values are given like this, so 5 plus 30, initial urgency plus goal is equal to 35. Suppose 35 plus 50, so it equal to 85. Suppose in past deadline time, if 60 is given, so even though 85 plus 60 is more than 100, so maximum value will be 100 only, right? So it will only stop at 100 only. Just another scenario. So maximum value, so will stop at, so even it is calculated value is more than 100 also, it is going to stop the urgency value at 100. Okay. Okay. So just other example. So like that intervals when urgency values when given in every interval, so this will automatically happen. Okay. And along with that, sometimes they may execute some actions. Like actions means like they can execute data transform, they can execute some flow, they can execute some particular shape in flow, so they can transfer the task, they can execute activity, they can send notifications using work parties, using SNE, using send notification to operator and manager. So these are some additional options you'll be getting. So if any requirement is there at any interval, they can also apply. If requirement is there, these are all some escalation options. So any action if you want to set after some interval or after some goal interval or deadline or anything, so they can use these additional options based on our task and all. Okay. So mostly we'll be using like transfer and run activity mostly we'll be using, and after that some notifications also we can configure if required. Okay. So these all I'll tell you. Okay, we know data transform, how to define flow, we know how to call any particular flow. Advanced flow means nothing but, so any particular advanced shape if want to call in flow, this one will be using. Transfer I'll show you. This mostly these two will be using, and what are all these notifications you'll understand in the next classes you'll understand. Okay. So today let's see one example I'll be showing by using all these options how to configure SLA, and after mapping the SLA how it is going to work. Let's see the one example we are going to understand now. So like that, these are the parameters you'll be having. See, this SLA already routing is there, right? So I'll be applying this SLA for the approval assignment. Okay. So requirement is, see, I will already the task is transferred to manager, right? To the report to person it is transferred. So what I'm going to set is, so okay, in the real time they may set like intervals will be like hours or days they'll be setting, but here to execute the task immediately I'm giving less time, like in minutes I'm giving, guys. Okay, in the real time maybe they may give in hours or days they can give, but here just I'm giving that in order to check the task immediately, so I'm giving the interval in minutes. So I want to transfer the task to some user portal. See here in application, apart from the developer portal and manager portal IDs, there will be something called user portal ID. So through today I'll be creating that. So I want to transfer the task to user portal. So if the task is not completed within goal time, so goal time I'm going to set here as 2 minutes time. I'm going to set once he log in, I'm going to set the time interval as 2 minutes for the goal time. And within goal time, if the task is not approved by the manager, it should be escalated to some other operator ID. Okay, so for that I'm going to add one new user portal ID, and to that I'm going to transfer the task. Okay, let's see the process. So this is the requirement. So already we have that routing process, everything is done. So one new thing we are going to configure is how to create a user portal ID. I want to show you. See, generally any portal IDs if you want to create see your organization name, so developer portal ID to generate the access group names and all, it will be there in this format: division name colon admin status. For manager portal, division name colon your managers is the name, and for users portal, division name colon users. So like that. So division name is nothing but here in your application, what is your application name given, based on the division name will be configured. So in that format your access group names will be there for the different portals. Now I want to show you how to add a user portal ID for this application. Okay, so from the developer ID you can use save as option and update the rule name and update the access group name. Simply we can create. See, for this first I'm creating this user portal ID, so go to operator, developer ID I'm going to open, and from this we can use save as option. Use save as option. So update name. So I'm giving some name as alpha user. So here you need to select the access group. So division name colon users is the name of access group. So after selecting this, save this operator ID. So password will apply same password. Rules is the password for the previous ID, right? Save as option when you're using, same password will apply for this ID also. Okay, just we created one user portal ID. Now let's see how to create this SLA rule. So SLA is a process rule. From process category we'll open. Go to process, service level agreement. So give a name. See, when you open this SLA form, so we need to fill the parameters. So I'm giving some values here, guys. So initial urgency I'm giving some 5. So and in every interval you will get these parameters like interval, urgency and escalation. Okay. See, now for the goal time I'm giving 2 minutes, and here amount increase urgency I'm giving 20. Okay, I will come back to this escalation, because escalation in this scenario we need to apply in the goal time only, because within goal time the task must be completed. So that is in 2 minutes it should be finished by the to whom it is transferred. So within 2 minutes if the task is not approved or not processed, then it will escalate to, okay, I'll tell you, escalate to some user portal ID we created, right? So that we have to set it in the action. So meanwhile we can also define these see, deadline time must be compulsory more than goal time, so I'm giving 3 minutes. Okay, but after goal time only 1 minute will be left for the deadline time. Okay, and here I'm going to set some urgency, and again go to pass the deadline. So here you can give less than deadline time or greater than deadline time also you can give. So just I'm giving 1 minute here, and I'm giving some urgency number. So first of all apply, but in the document maybe intervals are different, I think, don't worry. So after creating the ID, so open this rule. So here coming to the intervals, I have given some maybe urgency value 20 I have given. Then for the, okay, 30 I have given. Okay, don't worry, I will change in my application. Again you'll confuse along with document. Okay, for deadline time I'm changing to 30, and for past deadline time also I'm going to change to 30 guys. Okay, so whatever it is, no issue, interval, this urgency value. So after applying these time interval and urgency, see, escalation for every interval not required. Okay, only some cases will not define for any interval. Some cases any for one interval we are going to define. In this scenario, under the goal time we are going to define this escalation. So click on this edit. See, here we are going to use this transfer, because if the task is not finished in goal time, it should be transferred to some user portal ID. So use this option transfer, and here you will be automatically, here it is specific ID we are using, that directly to one operator we are going to transfer the task. So automatically you will be getting work list, and manually enter the name of that operator. So you don't get in the drop down in your application exactly how your user ID is created. So give it in the destination name. Okay, give it manually. You don't get it in you don't get in the drop down here. So save the SLA. Save SLA. Now go back to your insurance flow. Open your insurance flow. You see SLA to configure this under approval assignment. So we are applying for approval assignment, approval task here. So under the routing settings, so you'll also get this SLA, service level agreement. So after defining SLA, here we need to configure that. So define the SLA and save it. Submit this. Save the transaction. See, now run the transaction and verify this after routing whether this SLA is working or not. We are going to verify. So submit the task till the loss details. See, last time I opened the loss form from these other using work queue option, right? See, we can also access any routing pages from developer environment also we can access. See, after submitting the vehicle form, the task will be transferred to work queue. See, those options if want to open in developer environment also we can access them. How means from action drop down you can open the loss flow action. So it is transferred to the work queue, right? So in the footer you can check to which operator it is assigned, to work queue or to the using work queue it is transferred. As of now, just submit. So then again the task will be transferred based on this approval assignment. Okay. Now access from the new session. Try to log into new session. See, in the new session I'm going to see the report to ID is nothing but in my application it is alpha m1. So in your application what is the ID you generated, so open with that ID. So in the last session we generated, right? So alpha m1 is the reporting ID. So log into that ID in a new session. See here, when a task is transferred and once you log in, the time interval will start. So it is showing us deadline time will show here, guys, so don't worry. So wait for few minutes. So after 2 minutes, what happens means the task will be transferred to user portal ID. In the goal time, we have set as 2 minutes, right? So after 2 minutes, the task will be transferred to user portal ID. So just wait. See, within 2 minutes only, they need to complete the task. Okay. So if the task is not processed, that is, if they not submit the task or process the task, then it will be transferred to the user portal ID. Okay. So here it will show the interval. So wait for 2 minutes. Okay, still 1 minute is there. So after 1 minute, this work item will not be available in this manager ID. So it will be transferred to, based on the escalation parameters given. So it will be transferred to that other ID, which is user portal ID. Few more seconds. Okay, refresh now. Okay, the task is not available. So where you need to check this is, so open log off from this ID and log in using this alpha user, which is created just now. So rules is the password for the user portal ID. And the task will be available under the user portal category. So deadline time is also started, right? Then it will show as -1. Actually, deadline time will start along with the goal time, right? Actually, here it will show as a, this is past deadline time, guys. Okay, -1 minute is showing, right? So this is past deadline time. Actually, when you start the task, goal and deadline time both are started at the same time. Even though goal time is given as 2 minutes, so it will calculate totally all the three times, that is all the goal and deadline time both will start calculate at the same time. That's why it is showing as -1 minute. The reason is, so go deadline time is only 1 minute more than the goal time. Okay, so here click on these tasks. Suppose they can submit from here. So less than a minute is there, right? So submit within the deadline time is completed. Okay, so like that, any escalations or any transfer like routings are given. So at that time, so what interval to give and what parameters to define, so all those things they can define in SLA. Simple only, just what parameters to define and all, you'll get the requirement. So based on that, you will fill the intervals and urgencies and or any escalation parameters are required. So we are going to fill them and assign that in the routing parameters, that is under the task. That is, if you apply for the assignment, means under assignment settings you are going to define the SLA. If you apply for the screen flow, means screen flow, today you'll be knowing what is screen flow. So if you are applying for screen flow means, so then in the flow settings you have to apply the SLA. Okay. So that is service level agreement. Like any other requirement is there in the same way. So you'll get a requirement to what intervals and what escalation parameters and urgency. So we need to define the parameters and so map it in the task settings. Okay, now there is one task, there is one rule called ticket rule that we are going to discuss now. So the thing is, ticket rule is very simple rule. The purpose is to jump a task. See, if you see here in a insurance flow, multiple tasks are there. So this is customer task, transformation, that is a transaction task, vehicle tasks. So these are all some individual tasks. See here, if you want to jump from one step to other step or one task to other task in a transaction based on some condition. Without condition, we'll don't jump, but on some conditions again, after selecting any value or after selecting any drop down option or radio button option or any checkbox option. So in such cases, we can apply some condition, and based on condition, so we can jump from one step to other step within same flow. See, ticket concept we can implement only within one flow. If want to jump from one step to other step and all, so then we can implement this ticket concept. Okay, that is the purpose of the ticket. But how to implement that, means here in this particular design, what is the requirement means, see here vehicle details are there, right? And after that we have loss and approval details. See, if a vehicle is old vehicle means, then it should execute loss and approval details. So if vehicle is brand new vehicle means, then don't execute these loss and approval. Directly it should jump to address assignment without executing the next two steps. If vehicle is old vehicle means, execute the next two steps. If vehicle is totally brand new vehicle means, then directly jump from vehicle assignment to address assignment. So in order to achieve such requirements and all within one flow, if want to jump means, there is a concept called ticket concept. From one flow to other flow, if want to jump means, change stage one step is one smart shape is there. In the coming classes you'll understand, change to stage, some smart shape will be there, that will implement in the case types we are going to implement. Case designer and all will be having in the next advanced classes, will be understanding those. Okay? So now the purpose of the ticket is to jump within the transaction, so from one step to other step based on some condition. Okay, and ticket option, actually where after defining, actually we'll define the ticket from the process category. See, ticket is just a label only. Another thing is, when you define the ticket rule, so we will define the ticket name in the two properties. Okay, see, from shape and to shape will be there, right? Always ticket will be defined in the to shape properties, not in the from shape. But in the from shape, what we have to define means, see again, Pega contains one built-in business logic is there regarding this ticket concept. Set ticket one API is there, and we have to create one activity and use that API, and that API configuration we have to define in the two details we have to define. So in the to shape we have to configure API, sorry, in the from shape we have to configure the API, and in the to shape we have to configure the ticket rule. Ticket is just a label, but actual logic and all, which one will perform means, there is a activity called predefined activity called set ticket, so that will perform all the action in the backend. That is in the from design we have to call this API, and in the to design we have to call the ticket rule. Okay, and after that, if I want to jump from one flow to other flow means, this is the shape we have to use, change stage, that I'll use in the coming scenarios. Okay, so to achieve this requirement, here requirement is jump from vehicle assignment to address assignment if vehicle is brand new. And in order to identify whether it is brand new vehicle or not, we can use checkbox property we can add, and we can map it in the vehicle form. So add a checkbox property and map it in the vehicle form. Personal vehicle section, I'm going to add that. And requirement is if checkbox is selected, jump to address assignment. If checkbox not selected, execute these loss and approval designs. Another thing is I also want to use one more API in the same activity along with set ticket. I want to use some API called update status. See, using this API, we can automatically update the status to some different status value, because here if condition satisfied means it should update the status to this one auto approved I want to update. If condition false means, then previously what are the status is there, it should display the default status, it should display. So that is another requirement I want to include in the same API. Okay, so this is the requirement for the ticket concept. So first thing is we need to create this checkbox property, and here try to create using widget option. It's a single value property only, and try to create using widget option. So right click on class and open widget, that is click on view in data designer. So boolean property it is. So add a property. Okay, I'm giving some name and choose the type as boolean. Then open personal vehicle design. And in this design I'm going to use this property. But checkbox property, when you're adding, we need to manually provide a caption. Okay, I'm adding now, but after adding property, so provide a caption manually. So open settings, property settings. Okay, so give some caption. Vehicle is brand new, so select this. Okay, actually if you see here, after adding property, you have to, if you want to save the rule, it is in old version. So if you want to update and save the rule means, see, even after mapping the property, you can use save as option, or before adding property also you can use save as option. Create and open, then you have to click on save. Already property is added and updated this label. So now save the property. See, if you just add and keep it like that, it will not be updated, guys. So we have to compulsory move the rule to latest version and click on save. Okay, now next step is we'll create this ticket rule. See, it's a process rule. Go to process category. See, in the ticket we have to just pass some label, that's it. So go to ticket from process category. So I'm going to enter some name, and same thing copy in the description, like in the translate to your description will be there. Just to copy the same in the usage and description. So just a label only, ticket is just a label. Now where we need to configure this ticket, see, if you just add and configure the ticket, there is no value. We need to configure the business logic, then only the ticket concept will be working. So open insurance flow. Give me 1 second. So you'll open the flow, right? So inside the flow, so you can see this ticket concept, we have to call it in, that is ticket rule whatever we generated, we have to call it in the two shapes. So here we are going to jump to the address assignment. So address assignment we need to open, double click on this and scroll down. Under advanced settings you'll have this tickets option, and for one assignment you can add multiple tickets also. See, I can jump from vehicle to address, customer to address assignment. Okay, so then I can jump to transaction to address assignment. So based on your requirement, so from one step to same address assignment, you can jump, you can apply multiple tickets also, you can apply. So as of now one I'm showing. So apply this ticket name here, that is call the ticket name here, and click on submit. Okay, now save it. See, now we need to configure the, see, predefined API is there, but you need to create one user defined activity, and we need to configure the steps in that API. So open activity rule now. Open activity. See, in this not only we are using this set ticket API, there is one more API is there, right? Update status, that also we are going to use. See, both are predefined APIs only. So we need to use instruction, call instruction. So the name of API is set ticket. Go to more option and expand the parameter, and we have to provide the ticket name. So the name in your application exactly what given. So the name exactly, it is case sensitive. So type it manually or copy paste the ticket rule. So in my system it is vehicle ticket. So exactly give the correct name in the same format, case sensitive it should be. And one thing is here, I want to apply some precondition. It is mandatory here because see, in the UI design, if checkbox is selected, then only it should jump to address assignment. So here we need to apply some precondition here. Okay, in this API, before the API, we need to apply some precondition. So that is, if checkbox is selected, then only jump to address assignment. If checkbox not selected means, then no need to execute this API. Then no need to jump to the address assignment. That is a condition we are going to add. So click on this when, enable this condition, and see, in the previous classes we used this expression builder, right? So from here also I can open expression builder. So any boolean properties are there, so we can use this expression builder, and the function name already we used in the previous scenarios. Okay, so again I'm using here. So open this expression builder. See, equals ignore case is the function. If you remember, I used in some prior scenarios, previous scenarios. Equals ignore case is the function. Spelling mistake. Equals ignore case. So in this, we need to map this checkbox property and give condition as true. Give condition as true and click on submit. See, here the requirement is if checkbox is selected, continue executing this API. If checkbox not selected means exit activity. Don't execute any other steps in this activity. Okay. So here apply this true condition as continue and false condition as exit activity and click on submit. And in the step number 2, so use that. If suppose if true means it will also read the second API here, so which is update status. Actually go to more option. So if you don't find, go to more again. Okay, 1 second. Okay, see in this we need to fill this status name. So to which status it is going to automatically update. So type it manually. I'm giving as auto approve or approved. So to this value, this status will be created in the backend, and if condition is true means it will be updated on at address assignment. This status will be updated. Okay. If checkbox not selected means if any other default status is there, that will be displayed. But if condition is true means it will update the this status to address assignment. So apply this and save this activity. And this particular activity, see in the vehicle, we are going to choose the input value, right? So once again, just quickly review these steps. So first we created this checkbox property, and checkbox property is used in the, see here one thing is I created this property in the normal single value property, quick create property I created. But in your application, try to, maybe sometimes quick create it may not work in the present version. So try to add this checkbox property using wizard option, guys. Okay. Okay. So if not showing this property, try to create that property in the wizard option. Then use that in the vehicle form, give a caption, then add a ticket rule, and ticket rule will define in the address shape properties. Under address assignment, we are going to configure this. Then we will be creating this activity and using the API set ticket and update status. In the set ticket, we'll add this ticket label, and in the precondition, we are going to apply using the Boolean expression we will be using. That is nothing but equals ignore case is the function name, and we'll apply these true means continue the executing activities, and false means don't execute any activities in this API in this step. And here in the second step we'll be using this update status API, and here I'll be calling this in the, see in vehicle form, I'm saying that in vehicle form we are having this checkbox property. So in vehicle flaction, auto vehicle flaction, in the under the post processing we have to call these activity, excuse me. So in the post processing we need to call the activity name. So the thing is, even though we have given personal vehicle flaction in the internally in the insurance flow, the conditions is under the auto vehicle flaction is the circumstance condition we have, right? So open auto vehicle flaction, not these personal vehicle flaction, because we are not using that. So presently we are using auto vehicle flaction. Open that one. So inside the auto vehicle flaction, go to action tab, and in the post processing, so before that if you want to use save as option, you can use save as option. Before mapping rule name only, if you want to open and save as, you can use save as. And here now in the action tab, under the post processing, so here you need to provide that activity name and save this API, sorry, save this flaction. So now we are going to verify this ticket condition is working or not, or this ticket concept is working or not. So execute this insurance flow. Once now run this transaction. See up in the vehicle form, up to vehicle form, you can So personal vehicle, right? Anyway, by default base condition is personal vehicle only. See, now if I select the checkbox, it should directly jump to address assignment. Okay, it is jumping directly to address assignment. Verify the else condition. Now I'm going to execute one more time. So if I don't select that checkbox, means automatically routing parameters will apply. That is, we have. So this time I'm not selecting this checkbox, so then it will go to this loss routing is there, right? So you can see, if you want to open, you can open from this developer environment also like this. You can, from action drop down, you can access the loss form. And if you submit this, again routing will apply. Approval also will execute, right? Now we can open approval from action drop down, submit this. See, this is transferred to alpha m1. And if you submit this, then it will open the address assignment. Okay, so like that, if you want to jump from one step to other step in a transaction, we'll be using this ticket concept. We'll be using, okay, easy only. So but compulsory they'll apply some condition, what is the requirement. So based on any property selection or any checkbox selection, so mostly they'll apply these conditions. Okay. So try this. Once rejoin, guys, everyone.